How have you approached failure and setbacks on your innovation journey?
I think the one thing that I can say about myself is that failure has never been an option for me. As long as I'm still breathing, I'm going to be trying. I'm just relentless like that in the pursuit of whatever success that I'm aiming for. And if I have to think back to my formative years, of going through school, and you'll see my age now because I'm going to say matric. I know these days people say grade 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Matric and varsity. It always seemed like I had one shot, one opportunity.
Sure.
So when I was in matric, I had to hit those really high grades because remember, I grew up in an apartheid South Africa, era, and there were only a couple of slots at university for people of my background. So I had to shoot the lights out in matric, and luckily enough, I did well enough to get a university entrance. And even when I was at university, I remember sitting down with my parents, and whenever we discussed results and exams, and my dad would say to me, "But remember, son, you've only got one shot at this. I've got no money to send you back for an additional year. So I've budgeted for this. I can pay for every year of your varsity study, but I don't have money for an additional year, so you're not allowed to fail anything."
Sure.
And now you can imagine that the immense stress on my shoulders, because I was studying pure science. I did a pure science degree in chemistry and biochemistry.
Wow.
And at the university where I studied, whenever I spoke to the more senior students, the ones that were close to final year or in final year, they'd always laugh at me and say, don't be too hard on yourself. Everybody fails this particular degree at least 1 year.
Wow.
So if you don't fail in your second year, it's going to hit you in your second. I know, if not, when you think you're right there at the finish line in your final year, you might fail then. And I had that always at the back of my mind. And I wouldn't say it was a fear of failure, but it actually just strengthened my resolve to succeed and to persist.
Yeah.
And it was a tough journey. It wasn't. It was definitely not an easy one. And when I looked around as well, and I looked at my peers who had matriculated with me, and they had gotten jobs, and they had bought themselves cars, and they were sort of getting on with their lives, and there I was still penniless at varsity, and I would sometimes think, is it worth it? Is this the right thing that I'm doing? But I persevered with it. I never took my eye off the ball. I had the end game in mind, knowing that I needed to start off with this degree and then find my footing in life and in the industry, and hopefully find my own path through all of that. And so I learned that very early in my life. Failure is it wasn't an option for me. But then after university and developing the MACH REACTOR, etc., I also learned that failure is not the worst thing. It doesn't define you. There's always going to be something that you don't excel in, or something that doesn't work out, or that obstacle. But these things are the stepping stones. You've got to realize that you can learn from your failure. They're lessons, and they're stepping stones to your success, actually. And the other thing is, sometimes if a door is shut and it stays shut and you can't get it open, there may be a very good reason. It's probably a higher power's way of keeping you safe. You're not meant to take that path. Choose a different route, maybe.
Sure.
So that's how I view whenever there was a bit of a hiccup or a stumbling block. I took it positively, and I just changed direction and applied my focus elsewhere until, of course, I got forward motion again and a step closer to success. So I think what a lot of people forget, though, is we're not perfect human beings. We weren't created to be perfect. We're here to go on a journey. Each one has their own very special journey, their own battles to fight, so to speak. But what's important is to just stay resilient, to persevere, and surely success awaits at the end.